All right. Uh, Happy Friday, everybody. I'm Nick Slavik. I'm the proprietor of the Nick Slavik Painting and Restoration Company. I'm also the host of this show, Ask a Painter Live. It's a weekly live Facebook show where I use my over 2 decades of experience as a painter, a restorationist, a craftsman, colorist, lover of the trade, to answer any of your questions, whether you're a homeowner or a pro. Thank you guys for being patient. I'm having connection issues here today, but I'm going to be joined by my guest, John Busick, today. John Busick is a paint company owner in California, but he is way more than that. He is a super interesting guy, one of the leaders in our industry, and today we're going to be talking employee stuff. Where do you get them? What do you do with them when you have them? And then how do you keep them around if they're any good? So I think what I'll do, I'm going to wait for John to request the feed here to join me. In the meantime, I'm going to walk you through my my job site and give you a few updates here. I just recently submitted a video about what it means to be a 21st century craftsperson to APC Magazine, American Painting Contract, and hopefully they will consider me for Best of the Web or Best of the APC Award this year. So if you guys haven't seen it, I shared the post. Hey, John, how's it going?
How we doing?
Good. I got about a 2-minute intro here. Give me a second, and then we'll do an introduction for you.
You got it.
All right. So yeah, I submitted that video to APC Magazine, shared that post now. So if you guys are curious, with an artist friend of mine, we composed a sort of black and white art film about what it, day in the life of a painter and what it means to be a 21st century craftsperson. Also, all of the Ask a Painters are archived not only on my Facebook page, on Ask a Painter's Facebook page, but also on YouTube. You can subscribe, and the complete archive is there for you. If you ever have any questions, they're all numbered. They all have a subject in the title, so you can just look up if you're interested about sprayers, about colors, about estimating, tools of the trade, anything like that. Paint business owners, there's a whole bunch of good stuff, especially recently now that we've been doing Dual Live. I've been getting some of my favorite industry leaders on here. We've been talking shop, and the response has been completely overwhelming, and it's something we are definitely going to continue. So see what else we have here. Oh, yes, looking for guests. To our conversation, our forum between homeowners and pros. I would love to have you on here, especially if you're a paint business owner. We would love to have you on and talk shop. Also, Monday is the deadline for the PDCA Industry and Safety Awards too. So I'll be submitting a couple projects this year for consideration. Hopefully I can win another award. I was very fortunate. The first year that I submitted last year, I actually won 2 awards, one through APC Magazine and one through the PDCA, the PIP Award. And to be honored by people in my industry like that is an amazing thing. So Juliano Alcantara, thank you so much for watching, brother. It's always good to have you on here, and as always, thanks for sharing. The kindest thing you can do for the Ask a Painter show here is to share the feed. You can hit the share button here. You copy the link. You can minimize the Ask a Painter window into the corner. You can still watch, still listen, still chime in. Go to your feed, share it, and then all of your friends will see it as well. And that's the quickest way we can get more people here to invite more opinions, more ideas, and further the conversation. So I think I'll take you on a quick walkthrough through my job site here. Good to see you again, John.
Sorry about that.
Hey, no worries. I'm just gonna take a quick walk through my new construction site here, and then we will fire this up and we'll start talking employees, if that's all right with you.
Got it.
Okay, so 2 of my seniors are back here. They're plugging away. This is first day of wall painting for us here. Ceilings are done, walls are primed, woodwork is varnished. Most of the woodwork and cabinets upstairs are enameled, and we are starting the final finishing processes here. So, and this is something we don't often get. This is a beautiful sport court here. This will be a basketball court, and we have turned it into our fine finishing booth here. So it's been nice to have that extra sponge on the job site. It's something we don't always get, and it's been a saw, carpenter, plumber, and electrician free zone for about a month now. So we're very fortunate to have that. So, all right, well, I am joined here by John Busick. John is a paint company owner down in California, and why don't you tell us about yourself, John?
Yeah, so I'm actually a fifth generation painter.
Wow.
Third, yeah, um, blessed, I guess.
You've had so
Uh,
many opportunities to break free.
it's funny because I originally was running as far as I could from painting, and then I found myself back in it, and whole new appreciation for it. So, um, yeah, so I third generation owner. My great great grandfather came out west painting rail cars. My great grandfather manufactured paint here in California. And then my grandfather started contracting, and my father and my uncle followed suit, and now I'm following their shoes. So a lot of history in our company. We're out here. We're based outside of San Francisco in Marin County. We do primarily residential, high-end residential, small commercial. I know everyone, I'll just say it because everyone always asks this question at PDCA. I run roughly 25 to 35 guys depending on the season. And yeah, we're just like every other contractor out there, just another squirrel trying to get a nut, you know?
Wonderful. And yeah, it's John, it's something that I'm very sensitive to because it seems like when we get around other people in the industry, it's always how many guys you got, how many trucks you got, what's your revenue. And it's interesting to a point, but it doesn't give you the whole story. For people who are in it, who are progressing through stages of the business, it helps give you context, but a lot of time it's just sort of a weird pecking order thing. But it does help give people some context. When we talk about employees, there's a lot of different problems, advantages, things that show up at different stages of business, whether you're hiring your first or, whether you're on your 80th or your 25th painter. So I guess we can start off the conversation by talking about where do you find painters? Where have you had luck?
That's a good question, especially in today's economy. Yeah, it seems to be our best, the way we find the best painters and the most qualified, pre-qualified, are obviously from referrals from within our own company. And
Huge.
we do bonus out for that. We $300 to $500 we'll pay if a guy's here for over 60 days. So we do pay that out. And that's kind of a reward because we want them talking about our company. But take a step back from that. I think that I saw a great hour-long seminar not too long ago about hiring in today's market, and it wasn't just for the paint industry. But I walked away with it with a whole new appreciation of looking at hiring. Instead of looking at hiring of like, wow, we need to go out and recruit. It's actually a sales process.
It's huge, yeah.
So, with that said, what I mean by that is, by having your own guys selling your own company to other people that might not, I'm not here to steal other painters by any means, but if someone's unhappy in their situation, hey, here's our company's story, and why would you want to work here besides money? That's kind of like what we try to approach.
It's huge, and no truer statement, especially in an economy like ours. I just got some numbers from a county employment group, and the county that I live in has 2.5% unemployment, which means there is only 1,900 people looking for a job in my area. And if it seems daunting, except if you offer somebody something more than just a wage and a seasonal job. If you offer them a little bit of a hope, a little bit of a career and a future and sort of another family to be into, you can attract those. And I actually just hired 2 of those 1,900 people this last week. So, I mean, it can be done even with smaller painting companies. You just have to offer something more than just a dollar amount, because if you're competing against all the other industries, I mean, Amazon just built actually about 2 miles from this home that I'm in right now, they built a distribution center, and they're looking to fill thousands and thousands of jobs here right now, and they can't even find people to work for benefits, tuition reimbursement, and $19 an hour here. So it is as competitive as it's ever been, unless you can offer something else. So have you had any luck? Everybody wants to know if you got a good website, if you've got something besides referrals that you could find people. Just mine people out of the blue is what they're always interested in.
Yeah, I think, you know, the classic Craigslist, Indeed, you kind of have to do those websites to put yourself out there. But I think Facebook is becoming a great avenue by telling your story. Again, back to that sales thing of selling your company. You're not just selling your company to potential clients, you know, new business. You're selling your company to potential new employees. And you know what we've done in the last year. I by no means know all the answers. Again, we just try it. We're trying things like everyone else out there. We put together an in-house video telling our story from our employees from within, so they can tell. If you go to my painting website, bobkunstpainting.com, you can look at the videos and look at the video we put together about company culture. So that was the avenue we were trying to put out there. We blasted it all over social media, and we got some pretty good leads off that. Not only is it that, but it's also, you know, it's a good video for your company, so your clients can really feel better about hiring you. So that's one thing we looked at. I'm not the only one doing this. There's across other industries, people are doing this right now, and video is the best way to tell your story quickly, in my opinion. So.
Absolutely, and I believe it was within the last year. I've done 4 rounds of hiring in the last probably 14 to 15 months, and halfway through that, Facebook just came online with this sort of jobs website within Facebook,
Yeah.
and the last 2 guys I've got are directly from that because, you know, like you said, you try to make your company attractive, and it's linked right there. When you have an ad there, all the things that you do to make your company look good are included with your ad, and you can immediately let these people know what's going on. So I hate to keep putting all my eggs in Facebook and social media and things like that, but when it works, you can't not do it, John.
You know, we have out in California, it's extremely expensive. The cost of living out here is extremely expensive in the San Francisco area. So that's a huge part that we're fighting right now. Is these people a lot of our guys are having to travel, so they live an hour away from our office. So commuting is a huge deal. We have a traffic problem. So we're looking at ways of actually, a new train was just put in. We're looking at ways of potentially maybe offering a stipend and pay for their train to get in, so they don't have to go sit in traffic all day. That's one avenue we're looking into. Another thing that hiccup that we run into is that fighting for the dollar. I think it's a company philosophy, really. It's the type of company you want to run. We're looking for family-oriented people that are looking for a long-term career. I'm not looking for the seasonal employee.
Yeah.
I'm looking for someone that wants to learn the industry, and we train them from within, and they push on up through. I think most people are out there looking for the same thing. But right now in this economy, you see a lot of the people that come and go at this time, and it seems like they're chasing the dollar. And we don't offer the best in terms of base pay. We offer a good base pay, but our company philosophy is you give them the health benefits. We pay for health benefits. We do 401k, profit share. We do performance bonus. So we do a lot of the whole package is what it's about. And I think that you attract good people by offering a better package versus just, hey, you're here for the money, I'm going to use you. I mean, that's not really my style. But.
And when you say you're chasing the dollar, I assume you're talking about, well, if you're offering 18, if the next company over offers 19, they don't care what that company does. A dollar is a dollar, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. That's always tough. And one thing that I've sort of realized in the last 5 years is that if just a dollar or if just the amount of wage you paid somebody cured this, none of us would ever have any employee problems. You would just keep upping it until you keep everybody. So obviously it's not just pay. You have to offer them something other than that. So John, once you have your people, do you have a formal system to sort of onboard them into your company?
We do. I mean, formal, I wouldn't say formal because everything. They don't have any experience. We put them out there with one of our senior foremen, and they kind of take them under their wing for a bit. There isn't any perfect formula that's out there to hire someone, and there's no better way than learning than doing it. So That said, there are certain things that we go over. Painting is the easy part in my mind, especially in the part that we're in. It's the keeping things clean. It's the showing up on time. It's the representing our company with their, looking clean, neat, and professional. So those are number one. That's trainable immediately, right when you walk in the door. And then from there, you just slowly teach them the skills and build them up, and like any other industry, right?
Exactly. It's funny. Everything you're mentioning is basically the industry standard. If you've been doing this long enough, you experience exactly that. At this point, some of the ultra high-end interior finishings, you still got to keep your nose to the grindstone, stay attentive and alert with all that stuff. But painting is almost an afterthought. We're basically a customer service company now, taking care of people's homes, giving them exactly what they want. Everybody's going to be a little bit different, and we find that 60% of every job now is just has nothing to do with painting. So it's so interesting you say all that. And it sounds like you hire for the same thing I do. In most of my ads, they only have, you must be a decent human being. I have no mention of pay. I have no mention of anything. The painting's the easy part to teach them.
Right.
Every time I've taken on, one of it's the Craigslist specials, the 15 years of painting. I'm the best. I have no job, and I won't roll out of bed for over for under $30 an hour. And those guys have been absolute disasters every time I've hired them. I just haven't had one good instance. So.
Now that said, I mean there are situations out there that you pick up a big commercial job that you just need to bring on 4, 5, 6 guys, and sometimes there's those situations. That's a your own decision and your own business to do that. So I don't discredit anyone for doing what they have to do. Don't get me wrong, we've definitely brought on people that probably and put them in situations once in a while that they might not be the most experienced at that, but you have to learn as you go, and you learn together. So.
Absolutely. And, I still have a bit of faith in humanity, so I still do take guys on like that for the hopes that you'll find that one guy who'll be like, oh my God, this does work. But still, you're just like, if you just find the eager people who are curious about life, painting is the easy part, So it's interesting you say that. But no, and as far as that goes, I'm actually formalizing my apprenticeship program this year. It's always been a sort of 2-year process where I take the guys myself and sort of work them through. In the upper Midwest here, we have a clear 6-month seasons of inside and outside. And once they make it through 2 insides and 2 outside seasons, they are basically able to lead other people. And this is the first time I've actually formalized it. And this last week, I actually named one of my 4-year senior craftspeople as head trainer. So I'm sort of teaching him now. He's to the point where he needs to lead, and he's sort of taken all my new guys under his wing. So I've offloaded a huge thing. I'm super nervous about it, as you can understand, because it's your image out there. But you understand that, these are things you probably understood a long time ago, but I'm sort of need to figure out what my role in the company is, and I need to start offloading some of this and giving my guys the credit they deserve that they can do it. So it's a real interesting adventure right now for me.
Yeah, I'm same boat. We have one of our painters, our senior painter's been with us for 31 years.
Oh my God.
My grandfather hired him. It's I've known him since I was a little kid, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for him. And we put almost every new hire with Pedro's his name, and he takes them under his wing. And he doesn't just show them the basic skills of painting. He talks about our company, how you move up, what's the process, why, my quirks, this is how you deal with John. Probably gets some ins and outs, I don't know. But yeah, it's important to have your senior leadership be able to step up and do that. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to grow your business. So.
Well, that brings us to our next subject, and this is something that I need the most improvement on. Is you find these awesome guys, you onboard them, they are exactly what you need, and I get the finest 2 to 3 years out of these guys, and they all move on to something else. It's usually something of a higher calling, or what I would consider a higher calling, but I need to figure out how to keep these guys now. And a 31-year guy seems like an absolute dream for me. How do you keep somebody for 31 years?
Well, considering I've only been in the company for 9, you're asking the wrong guy. No.
Well, you can
Um,
speak for the last 9.
um, I would say it's that package that I talked about before. It's, offering them, it's ultimately, it's not about the dollars and all that. You're offering a sense of security in my mind. I want to feel safe. I want to feel like the people that I'm working under are looking out for me. It's just like it's like a home, right? You want to feel
Yep.
safe in your own home. You want to feel protected. You want to feel like you're putting into it. Um, you're a big part of it. So I think there's a lot of, and what that entails is that I've learned in the last few years since we started doing is the biannual reviews.
Mm-hmm.
So we sit down each of our employee and my father, my uncle, and I. So this, by the way, real quick, structure in our company is I kind of oversee the company. I'll run a few jobs. My uncle and my father, we don't have sales guys and project managers and just pass it on. We actually, the way we keep it tight and right in our mind is you bid it, you get it. So you're the sales guy and you see the job all the way through. It just avoids a lot of headache. But
I like that.
um, back to what I was talking about was I think that
Oh, it looks like John might have froze up there here. I'll talk for a little bit here until John can get back on here. Richard Heilman, thank you for watching. The great and powerful Chris Shank from the PDCA. Appreciate it. A local person here. Gerson Rodriguez, thank you for watching. And it looks like John fell off, but as soon as he requests back on, we'll fire him back up. We'll go through see if we got any questions for now. Emilio Batias, thank you for watching. Dave Olson, my good hunting buddy, fishing buddy. Thompson Almeida, thank you for watching. Russ Perry, thank you for watching as usual. We'll get John back on here. Joey Bernesser, thank you for watching. Hey, John.
sorry about that. My connection seems to be fading in and out.
No worries. I think you cut out when you say you bid it, you got it.
Yeah. So, and you once you see that through, it just helps the process of managing the job. Outside of that, what I was talking about was just employee retention and how you keep a guy for 31 years.
Yeah.
Like I said, no, I'm sorry, it was the reviews, right? I was in the review part. So what we do is we bring them in, have a sit-down review. We talk about get some feedback from them. We give them some feedback. We have a scorecard on where they're at, and we base a lot of that on performance, as well as checking in with them. It's a good opportunity for them to feel, in a safe place and give us some feedback on how we're performing in their mind.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And what they need to improve on, and hear that from them. So we also incorporated a lot of technology into our company recently. A lot of people know this, but that are out there, I've started a separate company called WorkGlue.com. Within WorkGlue, essentially it's a all-in-one solution to manage your company from A to Z. And within that, we have employee review section to where you could upload documents and the employees can see that as well. And it's a chance for everyone to be communicating on the same page, and really helps our company kind of be that transparency that I'm trying to bring into the company.
Oh, very nice. And do you find what is the most urgent need of somebody who is a long-term employee? I mean, 31 years is amazing, but everybody I would consider long-term, maybe 10 plus years. Do they crave leadership? Do they crave a second family? Do they crave, you tell me, what do you find any through lines through your senior people?
I think leadership and opportunity to kind of give back to the younger guys coming in. That's a big one. And, everyone wants obviously more money. That's always going to be that's always part of it. But I think leadership and feel like they're contributing, and they have part ownership of the company. Not literally, but part ownership of their projects, part ownership, and they have a say, essentially. Tell me, what do you think? I'm open ears.
Well, I have nobody longer than about 4 years, and some of those 4 year people went out on some mission work a while back later. So I was in this tough position where when the Lord comes calling, I can't offer anything that will rival anything like that. When mission work is there for you and you feel the need to do it, I can't compete with that, and I'm glad to see my guys go do it. I'm glad to have them back, but I'll give you maybe a for instance, and then maybe you can give me some advice on that. Let's say you got a guy who's been here 2 years, graduated the apprentice program, doing very well, probably running one or two other apprentices and a small crew, and you can get the feeling that they're sort of slowly. It's a rhythm that people follow when they sort of eventually leave you. It's maybe they're late one day, maybe they're just forgetting a few things, but you can see them slowly put their attention somewhere else, and then they basically will tell you, well, I found a job somewhere else. It's an unrelated field for maybe a couple dollars more an hour, and my instinct tells me, well, hey, match it or do a little better, but I don't have a good track record on that doing it. It feels like they need more, and I don't know. I feel like I offer the good employee culture and a possible roadmap in a future, but there's just something that's not connected there. I don't know if you've had any experience with that.
I have. Actually, last year we lost someone that was with us for 10 years and left to go.
Oh, man.
They got $6 more an hour to go be a carpenter.
Oh.
So that's hard to compete with, but it's something we face with in today's economy because people are overpaying right now, and they're willing. People are desperate to hire. So I commend him. I mean, that's a great opportunity for him, that employee, that individual, and I can't bash him for doing that. And I don't think you can do anything about that as a business owner. You can do the best you can and offer the best package and be there for your guys, and maybe he'll come back someday if he recognizes that, wow, that was a really good company to work for. So
that's true. And like you said, it's you have to recognize all the sort of macro things going on around you, because right now if you start paying a premium for everybody that comes through your company, you set this sort of precedent through there, and you lock yourself into some either very high labor costs or some very uncomfortable conversations later on. So it's one of those things, and you always have to be conscious of that. So
as soon as you give something, you can't take it back, right?
No, absolutely not. And it's not like everybody just keeps the word mum between the field too. So and it's you want to be fair to your guys too. I mean, that's the whole part about creating a culture in your business too. I mean, people want to be paid what they're worth, and they want to know if they're working twice as hard as somebody else, they make twice as much. So that's one of those things. Okay, well, here's the part where I get selfish. I have a question for you from somebody in advanced long-term business here. I'm to the point where about 9 people in the field, I'm still doing everything. Obviously, I feel the need for assistance with this. 2 questions. Who do you hire, and what do you have them do? Is your first non-painting hire an admin? Is it a salesperson? Is it a production manager? Is it basically just somebody to do some of the easier tasks that you do? And how do they interact with the rest of your people in the field? Any suggestions?
Wow. Great question. The $1 million question.
Yeah.
I don't think there's one perfect answer for that. I think it ultimately decides on the philosophy of your company and the direction you want to take it. For instance, I think it matters to know your numbers for one. You need to know if you can afford it.
Yep.
Not only that, you need to know what's the most. I break it down, right? I think about a salesperson, or I think about an ops person. That's immediately 2 spots that I think of. I think technology could solve a lot of your issues on the admin side that could streamline it. For our business, 70% of our business is repeat. So operations is most important in our company, because operations is actually doing the work out there and making sure they keep referring us and we get repeat business. So for me, that ops position is essential. Sales, someone could sell it, but someone still has to do the work. So again, I think that it's a matter of, and also what your strengths are. I mean, for you, Nick, and whatever you have to sit down and break out your strengths and weaknesses, and that's my advice. I know I need an ops person to keep me organized. That's out there in the daily grind, and that's a really tough position to fill. My father currently runs it. He's going to be retiring in the next year and a half, and so we're thinking about that for sure, how that's going to play out. I'm more on the sales side, and I kind of oversee the company, but again, I think it goes back to kind of the number one, your skills, what you can afford, and the direction that you want to go. And hey, if you do a ton of commercial and I'm not a repeat business, that sales position is huge. So it kind of depends on the work you do. And
Okay, what is your father's as the ops guy? What's his day-to-day job look like?
That's a tough job.
Yeah, that's why I ask.
He gets the guys going in the morning. He organizes what material's going out on the job, all the sundries, so on and so forth. We put together we have a blue job box that goes out. There's a list that gets checked off before every project, so every job has the necessary sundries.
Nice.
And every job has the necessary equipment, whatever the sprayer type you're going after, so on and so forth. So again, we use technology for that. He's adopted on his iPad. We have checklists that go out. Each project gets assigned what equipment goes out, and so on and so forth. Outside of that, he's also in charge of scheduling. We check in with, I have jobs going myself, but I check in with each other at the end of the day. Again, using technology, we have an interactive schedule calendar for our jobs and who's working where. And so he communicates all that.
Wonderful. You mentioned work glue very shortly, a little ways back. I want to mention a few things so people have some context about you. Number one, you are affiliated with the PDCA as well, aren't you?
Correct. Yeah, I'm on the national board.
Wonderful. And thank you for all your leadership there. And I want you to get a chance to explain anything about work glue that you didn't get to before. And I want you to also let people know where we can find some information about work glue.
Yeah, so thanks for giving me my little sales plug. I think it's originally I built work glue for my own company. I came in and my problem was number one, we had tons of paper, manila folders for managing jobs. We had Sanders going over there, so we're getting some work done. We also had Excel spreadsheets, and we had, sorry, I'm having a tough time here.
Sorry about that. Yeah, they're cutting hardy backer with a reciprocating tool. So sorry, it'll be over in a second here.
No worries.
The joys of a construction site, right? I think they're working on the stair, and of course, it's perfect timing with you talking about your baby.
No worries. So yeah, so when I came in, it was paper, manila job folders to manage it. Again, 60 years of paperwork, and we had Excel and Microsoft Word. And I quickly realized we needed some technology to get this thing up and running, so I needed stuff on my fingertips to access. So I looked into it. I looked into it, and there's several apps that are out there that different functions. There's CRM, there's a timekeeping app, there's project management. And I just said, I'm logging into 5 different systems in my business. This is not right. So I ended up meeting up with a friend that's a programmer, and we put together work glue, what is known as work glue today. Other painting contractors and other contractors are out there using work glue. We're growing tremendously. You can go to workglue.com and find out more information. You can sign up for a free trial and definitely schedule a demo and walk you through it. But it essentially handles all of it. It's a mini CRM bill system. It's a project management system. It also does timekeeping and real-time job costing, as well as your schedule, all in one. So check it out. If you have any questions, you can contact me right on the website. That's my
And do I understand it's not just for the painting industry? It's more just for contractors in general as well?
Yeah, it's basically anyone that has long lead time jobs that are more than a couple. You can run it from A to Z. But if you have any multiple jobs going on out in the field and you're trying to manage it all, Workblue is your solution.
Okay. And John, do you want to? I'm going to scroll through the feed here, see if anybody has any questions. Do you want to help answer any questions if they come up here?
Absolutely.
All right. Casey Palmer, thanks for watching. Michael Van Morik, I believe he is a European fella. Thank you for watching. Thompson Almeida, thank you very much. Megan Kennedy, she's a local here. I'm moving into an apartment and I want to know what color I should do. Big, that's just like me asking you, who should I hire for my company for this? It's a big question. As somebody, who I do all the color consultations for my company, so I probably do about 200 a year. And it's very helpful to know the personality of the person you're doing it with, and it helps to see what their house looks like now. And nowadays, one of the biggest benefits is a Google image search where before it used to be, well, I just feel like I want a warm room. And now you can type in a Benjamin Moore, Sherwin-Williams color, any other of the big things, and say Benjamin Moore, Navajo white kitchen cabinets, and there'll be 10,000 kitchens you can look at with the exact color you want. So Megan, you can give me, I'm going to keep scrolling down. If you can give me any more information, the only piece of general information I can give you now is over the last 2 years, the color palette has cooled greatly. There's two main neutral colors that people use for most of the areas of their house. For the last 15 years, it was tan. For the last 2 to 3 years, at least in the upper Midwest, it's been very cool, gray, taupey tones. And you have tans here, you have grays here. Where they kind of meet in the middle, I would consider a taupe. And we've been moving towards that cooler side. So if you want something a little more up to date, around here we have something called the Parade of Homes, where all the home builders do their new homes. They open them up in the spring and the fall for us to look through. And everything is going, distressed wood, very light wood finishes, very dark wood finishes like you can see here, gray walls, and then some more white woodwork. So I don't know if you've been seeing any similar trends there, John, especially in Marin County. You guys are kind of trendsetters down there.
I'm going to just probably stick to my wife's probably recommendation on this, and she would probably say go to Pinterest.
There you go. That's a wonderful thing. You have no idea how many houses I've helped pick colors for where people got the Pinterest board made up. They're showing me stuff. It's so helpful nowadays. So Alexis Jenkins, thanks for watching. John Schiltzer, Aaron Campbell, thank you for watching as well. As usual, my good friend Juliano Alcantara down there in Brazil, leading up the movement of painters down there. Jesse Krennick. Michael Van Morik, he's from Holland. That's what I thought. Jim Callahan, he was a previous guest on my show. He actually used to apprentice under me. He is a band teacher, and he was brave enough to come on as a homeowner and ask homeowner questions to all of us vicious dogs here, painting contractors here. So I give him credit for doing that. So let's see what else we got here. Patrick Skluzacek, thank you for watching. Brian Kuhn, David Cudd, Zach Dabrowski, Robert Satram, Jose Rodriguez, Amueda, thank you for watching. Brian Himes, Mark Solheide, to you as well. Brian DeSell, Brian, thanks for all the back and forth this week too. It's been fun to kind of follow your stuff there. Dave Hernandez. Let's see what we got here. Ursula Badeau, thank you for watching. Mark Johnston, my good historic restoration consultant friend here from Minneapolis. Roger Greats, you as well. Jenny Stika, Stephen Capetto, Louis Littlechild. We've had a lot of interaction this last week or two talking about fine finishing, especially my project here. It's been raising a lot of questions about new construction processes, which I absolutely love. Ryan Schaust, Curtis Patzleff, Adam Sura, another local home builder here. Thank you for watching. Gustavo, thank you for watching. Rodney Pereira, Rob Fernando, Ferrando, my wife says I'm not trainable. It depends on what. We could probably say that about some parts of our lives for all of us. So Josh Erickson, thank you for watching. Another local fella, Dave Anderson. Matt Ambuel, my old squad leader, my sergeant when I used to be in the Army. Thank you for watching. Thomas Palachek. Ivan Barrigo. Ivan, John, if you've not heard of Ivan, he actually hosts a live social media show called Papo de Pintor. It's the painters chat down in Brazil, and it's basically the equivalent of this, but a lot of people chime in worldwide, and they have a very, very interesting contingent of people down there in Brazil. It's just awesome to watch them. They're very enthusiastic. Joel Ramos, Dennis Reagan, Dave Bastier, Efren Medina. Efren, I love watching his stuff. He does some ultra high-end interior fine finishing online. If you haven't done that, check out Efren. Thomas Palachek, hello to you too. Danielle Yusenko, Derek Anslem. Had a great conversation with Derek last night about some of the finer points of our trade. Ferreira da Silva and Dustin Zapancic, another guy who does very, very impressive work. He's a contractor up in Vancouver. Amber Slavik, cousin of mine. Brian Pickle, Wesley Melgren, my friendly Sherwin-Williams rep. Yvonne, congratulations, Nick. Thank you. Cale Tomlin is actually one of my senior apprentices, and I hope he's on his lunch break watching right now. I hope he's not trying to get something done. Tim Bodine, Russ Perry, love the sound of work. Yeah, that's the sound of dust to me too. So, Juliano, have the carpenter switch off the machine. Yeah, no, that's just what you get into with new construction. Bernardo, try muting your side. Yeah, I tried clicking my button here. I don't think it muted me. So Russ Perry, the app sound like it's worth checking out. Is it U.S. specific or will it be relevant for Canada too, John?
It's worldwide. Worldwide. Just go to workglue.com and you'll look at it right there. I could actually post that right here. I probably should, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, put it in here, and I believe we had to restart the feed. I had some connection issues, but I believe I connected your painting company and you, and I'll make sure I tag Workglue in that as well. So, Ronnie Souza, thank you for watching. Terry Taylor, Richard Heilman, a good friend of mine, painting contractor here. After 15 years as an employee, I wanted leadership, responsibility, and continued growth. In a busy market, I saw my potential for growth at a stalemate, which is the main reason I went off on my own. Richard's very open. We have some great conversations. Richard, I would like to know, if you were a painter for 15 years with somebody else, what would have made you stay instead of going off on your own? Or basically, was your mind made up? And I'll scroll down here and see what's Efren, hire an office person so you can focus on marketing, sales, and training employees. That's a great suggestion. Eduardo. Some quick advice to start. I'm starting my own painting company. Eduardo, give us some specifics there, because actually Christian Militello, a painting contractor from the Upper East, and we basically went on together and we said if we had to design a painting company and give advice to a young person from the ground up, we spent over an hour talking about that. So I think it was a show or two ago. Go back and listen to that show, and Christian had some awesome advice for startups. And we basically said, if we had to do it all over again, how would we do it? What would we do? And even at the stage we're at now, lots of advice to new painting contractors. So Terry Taylor, checking in from Motor City. Thank you for watching. Yvonne, hello to you too. Jacob Reescraft, there you go. Workglue. And Fresh Look Painting checking in. All right, David Kelly, thank you for watching. John, anything else you want to pass along to everybody? Otherwise, we'll get to it. It's Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday. Thanks it's an honor to be here. Again, I'm just another one of you guys that are out there trying to make it happen. I don't think there's ever a perfect answer to any of this. It's just all of us kind of sharing knowledge. And Nick, thanks for having me. I always enjoy the message that you deliver. We always learn something new, so keep doing what you're doing. Last thing, I think it ultimately comes down in terms of hiring and someone wanting to come work for your company. My father told me this a while back. He said, ultimately, you should just be a good person, and people will come. And I said, all right, that sounds like a good idea. Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, it's amazing how much unsatisfying but super effective advice you'll get from people who have been doing this long enough. it always goes, everybody wants the magic website, the magic app, the everything else. And if you haven't mastered the basics, none of that is going to help you at all. Like being a decent human being, do the basics of business, balancing a checkbook, calling people back. It's amazing how far that will take you.
Totally. Well, anyways,
Awesome.
thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Thanks for your leadership on the PDCA National Committee. And the last 2 years has been the biggest boon in my business ever. And it's mainly in part to people who are at your stage of business and are willing to be open and honest with other contractors here, recognizing that, especially halfway across the country, we're not competition. We are all allies to each other, and we can bring a lot of gravitas and some needed dignity to our trade. And even with people right up the road here, contractors who are, right now 15 miles from me, we are open and honest with our businesses because rising tide rises all boats. So that has been a huge boon to me, and thank you and all the other people in your position, John. We do appreciate it.
Happy to be involved. I encourage you out there, if you want to get some more of this knowledge and heavy dose, spend the time and go to National Convention at Expo. You will not be disappointed. So if you haven't been there, check it out. Check it out.
My first national was 2 years ago, and I call it my epiphany. It's my first contact, the first time I ever really talked open and honestly with another contractor, and that set me on this 2-year thing of basically reforming my business. So I can't, talking to other people who care about their business like you do is an amazing thing. So John, thank you so much again. Thank you for doing this. Have a good weekend, and we will talk to you soon.
Cheers. Take
care, John. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching here. I do appreciate it. Let's see who else is. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. This means the world to me here. Anybody who wants to be a guest and go dual live with me like that, you don't have to stay for the whole hour. If you got a project you want to show me, if you need advice on a certain thing, Megan, if you want recommendations on color in your apartment, we can certainly line that up. We can do it live over this as well. All these videos will be archived not only on my Facebook page, but on YouTube. So look them up. If you have any questions for me, send them to me, direct message through any of the social media platforms. And thank you guys for watching. And if you do like this, the kindest thing you can do for me and our trade is share this show and share the advice that John gave us today. So thanks much and have a good weekend.